Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to share with you guys in depth on how to build my Fang of Frost plus Parry Amazon. So I already reached level 90 and currently sitting at difficulty 4. And yeah, I think the build has been very satisfactory for me, and I can safely say it can do contents up to difficulty 4 anyway. So maybe I show a bossing run later, but for now I just want to talk about how to properly build the build. Okay, let's start with our equipment. Okay, we'll start with weapon set 1. For weapon set 1, this is the most important component of the build, which is Kalgira's Arc buckler. The only thing we're looking for from this buckler is the parry debuff duration, which is a secondary, but the most important part is here, infinite parry range. This infinite parry range allows us to basically parry projectile from whatever distance. So how it works is that parry, you can actually parry projectile, provided you are in range to swing your buckler towards the enemy. So usually it's melee range, but with this buckler you can basically safely parry everything except the slam when the bosses light up red. So yeah, this buckler is very important if you want to play parry, in my opinion, for quality of life. Okay, I'll show you guys the difference between parrying with my setup and without my setup. Okay, first up, we have our infinite parry range with all the necessary support. Okay, I'm holding parry. You see my stun build up doesn't build up at all because of our evasion. Oops, sorry. Let me turn off Wind Dancer. Okay, this enemy has a range attack. As you can see here, I'm still parrying even from outside his range. But if I change this to a buckler without the infinite parry range, I'm still defending, but as you can see here, I'm not parrying the enemy. But once we're close enough, we can swing our buckler to basically parry the enemy. And it's like really close, and it doesn't functions very well when you're mapping where there's like how many enemies are attacking you. Okay, so let's start by going without our skill gem support. Okay, that's our parry speed, and we're not getting any stun build up at all because our evasion is just that high. I'm going to take our parry speed to very high. There, there's a huge difference between our parrying speed, and because the attack also basically translates to readying up your shield for your next parry, so it's basically your recovery. Okay, you can see the stun build up building now. I'll show you what happens if you're like parrying until you are heavy stun. Okay, I'm still not getting any because our deflection is working. Okay, this is heavy stun. You can see how much it basically screws you up, which is why a high evasion and high stun threshold is very important for parrying. So yeah, that's pretty much it for parrying. Next, for weapon set 2, we have our spear. Okay, for our spear, we have basically high crit chance and high DPS. High crit chance is very important, because usually when people say like 500 DPS spear, they're not really looking at critical hit chance, because your hit chance, the DPS from your hit chance is dependent on your build. So having high crit chance is very important, and then very high accuracy as well. This is important after you get this Ascendancy note from Amazon, which is here, penetrate, which says attacks using your weapon have added physical damage equal to 25% accuracy rating on the weapon. So it's kind of misleading, because the previous note, critical strike, says chance to hit attack can exceed 100%, but gain additional crit chance equals to excess chance to hit attack. This one is basically dependent on your global accuracy, to your character accuracy, but this one depends on your localized weapon accuracy. So make sure you have accuracy to on your weapon to benefit from this note. And then for our scepter, we want I recommend at least, not sure, wait, realism, clarity, vitality. Yeah, I recommend at least 140 spirit, but getting 155 is just the sweet spot. As you can see here, we're reserving all of it. I'll show you what gems we're using in the gem section later, but having 155 is the sweet spot. And then you get try to get increased mana regeneration rate, some stats, some and some mana. And this one is corrupted, so I have 2 slots for me to circuit 20 strength into it. So yeah, mana regen, spirit, mana regen, and then stats, and also mana would be nice. Okay, and then we move on to our other uniques. Okay, here gifts from above prismatic ring. This ring is actually very nice for this consecrated ground alone, where it says you and allies have standing on your consecrated, while stationary you have consecrated ground, which gives 5% of maximum life per second and 50% reduced effect on them. Okay, in POE1, consecrated ground is, well, you would say just nice, but in POE2, 5% of maximum life regeneration per second plus 50% reduced curse effect is not really something that's easy to come by. And as you can see here, our life recovery is 262 from a 2000 life pool, so that's like more than 10%. And if we move, it goes down to 144. And because life regen in POE2 is like, where is it? Here. In POE2, life regen rolls are not really very high. You can see from this belt right here. Even T1 life regen, we only get 27. Unlike POE1, a T1 life regen can reach like 70, 80, even 100. And so having this ring for me is actually very, very good, because on top of having the huge amount of life regen, you also get you also get reduced curse effect, which means that if you curse with things like temporal chill and enfeeble, you're 50% less affected when you're stationary, which is when you're attacking. And if you're close enough to the enemy, you're actually stationary. But if you far away from the enemy, you lunge at the enemy. So you can see here, your consecrated ground turns off just for a tiny bit, but once you reach the enemy, you'll be stationary, so your consecrated ground will always be on. I have to say, this ring is like actually quite good. I'm not sure why people are sleeping on it, but yeah. Just to prove a point, here 5% life regen. At most you can get is like here 0.5% maximum life regen, 0.75% here, 1% while stationary here. Okay, increase this one, 1.5% while stationary. So yeah, for at this part of the skill tree, having that 1% life regen is like very valuable. It's not really something that's easy to come by. And then our amulet, which gives us 75% cold resistance penetration, so you don't need to worry about penetration at all. And it also blind chill enemies on hit, which means that it has a 100% chance to blind, so which pairs very nicely with our evasion build. Oh, maybe I'll talk about the anointment also. Here we allocate distracted Taigat, which is here, which gives us 50% increased critical hit chance against blinded enemy, which pairs really well with Pandemonia's 100% chance to blind on chill. But like you can progress. I don't think it's that's expensive of an anointment, but if you're poor during early game, I think you can anoint. What is it? I think one of these sharpened claw. I think, which is like it costs nothing. Ire Grit. You can get it like with very low distill liquid. And then okay, our chest. What we want from the chest is basically just this: gain deflection rating equals to 60% of evasion rating, because from rare equipments, the most you can get is around 20. As you can see here, we get 22, 23. I don't have anything on this one, but having 60% chance gain deflection rating from 60% evasion rating is actually very good. And the chests also have a number of useful stats also, like life, chaos resistance, cannot be poisoned, and life regen per second. And it pairs really well with, where is it? This Ascendancy point, Stalking Panther, where it says your evasion rating from equipped body armor is half, but your evasion rating from helmet, glove, and boots is double. Because despite the gain deflection rating, it's not half. It only halves your evasion rating. So the trade-off from using these chests is mitigated, and you basically you can gain the full power of this chest without having to sacrifice much in evasion chest piece. Because otherwise, if you roll a rare chest piece, you can get very high resistances, but we're using this instead to get high deflection. Like you can see here, at the moment our evasion rating, we're sitting at 17k with 64% chance to evade, with a deflection rating of 28k for 75% chance to deflect. And you can get higher during battle, like during dodge rolling. Here you can get 68% chance to evade and 78% chance to deflect. And this is not including blind effect. So yeah, it's quite defensive with having that life regen and high deflection chance and high evasion. Okay, and the rest of the gears are just rest. So I'll just show you guys what you want to roll. Okay, for our helmet, it's basically the same thing. We want high evasion, high life, high resistance, and high gain deflection rating equals to evasion. So same with glove. For glove, I get plus level to all melee skills because we can get this from our glove. So another nice DPS boost for us. Boots, same life, resistance, movement speed, of course. And I got life regen here, but which is whatever, because getting deflection rating is also nice, but at this point it doesn't really matter. And belt, life, resistances, life regen. I think I can still upgrade my belt to have a higher life. Whatever, later. For our ring, we have life, increased damage, something that I can get nicely on a prefix, and then resistances, mana. And somehow I got to desecrate, recover life on kill, which is also very nice. And okay, charms, you want immunity to shock and immunity to freeze. These two is very important, and I'm getting increased rarity also just for the drops. What else about the gear? Oh, okay, the jewels. For jewels, you want at least one jewel with gain range on melee hit. We gain our range elsewhere also from our skill, but having at least one rage on melee hit means we have two different sources to gain rage, so we don't suffer from inherent loss of rage. We can sustain our rage like much more consistently. Second attribute is here, from nothing, which gives passive in radius of dance of death can be allocated without being connected. Here, dance of death, and we allocate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nodes that's connected to our tree, which gives us a lot of points. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So 2, 2, 2, 3, 9 points just from this jewel alone. And I think it's quite cheap. When I got mine, it was quite expensive, but nowadays I think it's just like 20, 25 exalt maybe. And then you want damage with, yeah, basically just damage. I got the chance to blind on hit before I got Pandemonious, so yeah. And also Prism of Belief for +3 level to all Fang of Frost skill for even more damage. Okay, next up we'll move to the gem section for the build. Okay, first up, the main star is Parry. Okay, for Parry, you want Steadfast first and foremost, because you have more stun threshold while channeling supported skill. It's very important to not get stunned while parrying. And also, you want prolonged duration is secondary, but you want rapid attacks plus rage 3. Okay, when you parry, you actually there's a portion of your attack once you parry where you swing back your buckler to basically supposedly hit the enemy, and you can actually reduce the shorten the animation by increasing the attack speed. As you can see here, sorry, 0.38. If I remove 0.47, I remove 0.44. So these two basically attack speed is very important to make sure you parry don't last very long, so you can immediately stab the enemy. So we went from 0.54 to 0.38, very important. And rage 3 basically also grants rage on melee hit, so it allows us to sustain our rage. And then Melis, our scepter. So what Melis does is it grants critical weakness on enemies in your presence every few seconds, and so basically this synergizes very well with a one-handed melee weapon that goes crit. And here we want prolonged duration so that our melee lasts a little bit longer, 5.4 seconds. So it allows you to stack like because the stacks run independently, so increasing the duration increases the amount of critical weakness stack that can ultimately stay on the enemy. And the rest are our aura. We want vitality for life regen, cannibalism, just cannibalism 1 is enough, and then clarity. And something I noticed in this patch is that you can actually run multiple copies of clarity, provided it's in the different section of the skill gem. So I'm running clarity 2 and clarity 1, and also vitality 1 and vitality 2. You can see here, for example, we're running at 96 mana regen. If we remove, we're running at 80, and then is it really 80? Okay, yep, 80. And we remove clarity 1, we're at 71. So you can see we are actually benefiting from double clarity using this duplicate clarity support gem. I'm not sure if it's intended or not, but currently that's how it is. Okay, so that's for Melis. And then for Fang of Frost, we got, most important one is basically Ancestral Call, because it gives us more damage, more area effect, but most importantly, strike additional strike will target 2 additional enemy. This is very important during clearing, because when you pair it with Herald of Ice, it can basically explode the screen like every 3 seconds. And it also allows you to basically... The problem with Fang of Frost is that you really need to actually aim at the enemy, because the hitbox is just a single straight line. But once you have Ancestral Call, your ancestrally boosted step can... If you target here, it will also target at the side, at the back, wherever there is an enemy. So it's like auto-targeting also. Very, very nice quality of life for strike skill. And then the rest is just damage. Elemental Armament, Ice Bite, Close Combat, Cold Treatment. Then for our Storm Lance, the skills that we want to... the support gem that we want to use are Persistent Ground. This gives us higher duration of ground surfaces created, which is the Shock Ground. And also it gives less cooldown recovery rate. Supposedly this... What this does is that it defensively, it how to say, it makes the enemy attack, like some slams, they supposedly have cooldown, which is why they don't spam a slam attack like multiple time in succession. So with Persistent Ground, it basically increases their cooldown even further, to make them attack with their more dangerous attacks more sparingly. So yeah, this is very, very important for our Stormlands. And then second one is Nova Projectile, because it allows us to basically increase the coverage of our Storm Ground. And supposedly, if you aim it close enough, it stacks together like in a very close proximity. And I'm assuming it also shotguns. So you can control the coverage depending on where you aim the Stormlands. And this shotgunning effect is also quite nice for bossing, but I wouldn't recommend you to aim that close, maybe somewhere like here, because you also want the shock ground coverage. And the rest is just area and damage. Cull the Weak is something that I use sparingly on the build, but if you want, most important part is Ancestral Call, because it allows you to cull multiple enemies at a time once you reach the target. Charge Provision for more charges generation. Rapid Attack, something that you want because you want to instantly cull the enemy. It increases the speed of your lunge. And then Life Drain for recover life for over 4 seconds when culling an enemy. And because this is recover life, supposedly it doesn't end like life leech, so it's a 4-second recovery that can go on top of your recovery. Sniper's Mark is something that we only use during bossing, because we want to generate frenzy charge when we deal critical damage, because the build has a very high critical hit chance, so we're not really using it for damage. Here we have like 43 tooltip critical hit chance, so we're only using it for charge generation to feed into our Stormlands to create the shock round. Okay, then for our aura, okay, yep, okay. For our aura, we have charge regulation, which gives us more critical hit chance, more defense, and more skill speed depending on which charge you have. We're mostly depending on our more skill speed while you have frenzy charge. But something you need to note, when you have charge profusion 2, there is a chance you can get a charge, a random charge that's not the charge that you're supposed to gain. For example, here Cull the Weak, we're supposed to gain only frenzy charge, but with charge profusion 2, there is a chance you can get endurance and power charge as well. So charge regulation can also turn that charges into more benefit for us, but it's not really reliable. Only the frenzy charge are for, you can treat the endurance and power charge as just a bonus. Then we have Vitality 1, so it's not really related to the skill, but just an additional aura that we want. And then Combat Frenzy, where it gives us a chance to gain it gives us a way to obtain frenzy charge when we freeze an enemy to fit into our Stormlands. So again, charge profusion and clarity. Already stated this before on why we can use double clarity. And then War Banner. War Banner, we use prolonged duration for more skill effect duration. Magnified area for more area of effect. And this one, Darius' Passion, very very important, but because it basically allows you to put your War Banner much easier, because otherwise it requires 200 glory, now requires only 100, and this is very very cheap. So always pair this together with your War Banner. And then Expanse for more area of effect. Holy shit, I just made 25 divine. Oh, that's so nice. I'm rich. That's like I'm only sitting at 2 divine. Okay, that's a nice surprise. Anyway, Wind Dancer. We want Rage for Rage on melee hit, and Blind to... Doesn't this already blind the enemy? No, it doesn't. Okay, so Blind just to blind the enemy. Cold Attunement, so that Wind Dancer has a cold portion of the damage, and this is very nice because you can actually freeze the enemy using Wind Dancer from this, and then also pairs with Herald of Ice, so that you can, if you shatter the enemy while frozen, using Wind Dancer, Herald of Ice can trigger as well. Another last is Life Leech, because Wind Dancer has a physical portion of the damage, and Life Leech allows you to leech that physical damage portion as life, which is not removed at full life. Although it only lasts like for 1 second. I think this really helps if you're like, for example, heavy stun during sprinting. And finally, Herald of Ice, so nothing much needed to be said. You just need area and damage. So Overreach for increased area effect. Less accuracy rating doesn't matter because Herald of Ice cannot be evaded, so you always hit the enemy. And then Cold Attunement, Elemental Armament, Close Combat, Cold Mastery. So yeah, just more damage. Oh, and sorry, I forgot to mention regarding the weapon skill tree. Okay, for Parry, Parry is automatically at weapon set 1 because that's the only place where we equipping our buckler. This one only at Melis Aura, weapon set 2, because we got this from our scepter, which is only from weapon set 2. Fang of Frost, make sure weapon set 2. Stormlands, you can use weapon set 1 and weapon set 2. This is because we actually have bossing Stormlands where we can increase the magnitude of shock ground in our passive tree, but in normal cases we use the weapon set 1. In normal cases we use the one with weapon set 2, which is just more damage for clearing. Call the Weak, weapon set 2, because I believe we have more attack speed here. Sniper's Mark, weapon set 1. Yeah, I think this one is whatever. Okay, for our aura, Combat Frenzy and Charge Regulation, we only use it at weapon set 2, so that we... how to say? This is something that we only want to use during offense, so not really required during parrying, so only in weapon set 2. And because when we are parrying, when we are attacking, it's the only time when we have our scepter. So otherwise, you don't really have the spirit. So yeah. And War Banner is at weapon set 1 and weapon set 2. Wind Dancer always on. Herald of Ice always on. So these three are always on, and the rest of our offensive aura is only during weapon set 2 when we are attacking. Okay, finally is our passive skill tree. So basically for our passive skill tree, to summarize the how the passive tree goes, is that in general, the general tree have evasion stats or anything that's useful for both actions. But in weapon set 3-1, which is the one we use for our parry. We want basically anything related to parry, stun threshold, and also less movement. Which is here. Stun threshold while on full life. This one, increase evasion while parrying. Yeah, you really need to fix the set variation, weapon set variation, because it's not really clear for weapon set 1. Weapon set 2 with the green color is kind of clear, but weapon set 1, here, reduce movement speed while moving, because when you are parrying, you can actually move, and this allows you to have less penalty when moving. So also very, very important. And here, heavy stun build up empties faster, increase parry debuff magnitude. What else? Yeah, basically just that. And for weapon set 2, which is the one we use for attacking, we have here attack speed per accuracy. This one, more damage. This one, more damage. This one, more crit. This one, more crit, more crit. Yep. For general 3, very, very important. You want, as always, evasion. It's something that you always want to keep on with, especially even when you're parrying, because yeah, that doesn't make sense if you like dying when you're defensively approaching the enemy. And the other reason is also because I think here you cannot evade a hit you could parry, but evasion instead grants an equal chance to avoid this heavy stun build up. So that's why evasion is very important during parrying also, because it allows your parry bar to basically not be moving. Also, something very important, I think GG need to change. They need to move this heavy stun bar to somewhere, I don't know, up here, or even at your cursor or something, because otherwise it's very hard to keep track this heavy stun bar during bossing. And okay, sorry, let me go back to the passive skill tree. So general, you want evasion, something you always turn on. Evasion, and also stats. Evasion, stats also something that you always want to turn on as much as possible. You want increase freeze build up here. You want general because your Wind Dancer and Herald of Ice also benefits from this. Recover life on kill, something you always want to turn on. Skill speed, function both during parry and mana regen, something that you also want to always have. And yeah, that's it about the passive skill tree. For our Ascendancy, our first Ascendancy, you want to use Predatory Instinct for reveal weakness, because this one is the least dependent on gear. It will always turn on regardless. Number 2, you want Critical Strike. Okay, just remember, once you have Critical Strike, you want to start actively going for the crit note. And then Penetrate, attacks using your weapons have added physical damage equal to accuracy rating. Okay, and last is Stalking Panther. This third and fourth Ascendancy is very dependent on your gear, but for Penetrate, always remember you want to have accuracy on your spear. If you don't have accuracy on your spear, there's no point in getting this Ascendancy at all. So yeah, always remember, this is localized accuracy, this is global accuracy. Something that's not really intuitive, but it is what it is. And then finally, once you have all your gear pieces and you want to increase your evasion, just take this, because okay, I'll show you how much of the evasion we gain from our Stalking Panther. We have 17 and 28. 10 and 17. So yeah, that's a lot of evasion and deflection just from this node. Very, very important and very gear dependent. And basically that's about it for the explanation of the build. And I think the build is good enough at this point. The only thing that I might want to improve on is maybe having Rakiata's flow on our Fang of Frost and then removing Pandemonious Amulet. But that's a very expensive upgrade, and I just want to save money to play my next build. And that's it. Thank you very much. If sorry, before I end, as always, if you have any question, just feel free to ask me in the comment section down below, and I'll do my best to answer your query to the best of my capability. But other than that, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye.